What do you think about Frank's humble curse, which goes, I hereby place a curse upon the cretins who assert that Americanism equals Christianity equals good fiscal policy equals 15 minutes from Armageddon. But Armageddon is okay because we're all going to heaven and they're not. My humble curse, may your shit come to life and kiss you.
I think I heard that a long time ago. That's great. You should come alive and kiss you. That's going on my Facebook page, man.
Oh, yeah.
Just that right there. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's out of the real Frank Zappa book, the part where Jesus thinks you're a jerk.
Yeah. Well, so you want my opinion on that?
Yeah, if you have one.
I would say, yeah. I mean, like I say, everybody's got their own idea of things, and he was very strong in his ideas. I kind of had to stand back and go, okay, I don't disagree. I don't agree or disagree. I just kind of go, okay, that's what you want to think. That is your opinion, and I respect it. I respect anybody's opinion as long as it's not painful or hurtful to anybody else.
Right, and it would be preferably if it was an educated opinion, which, of course, in this case, most certainly.
Oh, yeah.
And also, the real question, I think, would be, has the humble curse come true? Is it still going, or has it come true for me?
I'd get there. I'd say it's coming close.
Hear, hear. Okay. What do you think about the possibility of belief systems being hijacked for political purposes, such as belief in the Karamba and Muzzlemania?
I'd say it's a very strong possibility. It's what it feels like to me.
Shouldn't we question compulsory beliefs and instead rely on empirical evidence? Who is saying this?
I mean, yeah, that's the idea. Don't take it lying down. I don't want to get into it because...
Well, I just wanted to bring that up because it just seems from observation that the Karamba is being used as as a religion. I mean, as a belief system, and people are accepting it as a religious belief. I mean, it's almost, check it out. They closed the churches, during lockdown. They closed the churches, and that's the first time that's ever happened. That's never happened before. And so to say the Karamba is bigger than Christ, I could get in trouble for saying that, but for a time there, it was true, right? Sadly.
It's disgusting. It is truly disgusting. And anybody that backs it, I guess, follows hand and foot. Mm-hmm. You have to be a real sheep to be led around to believe that this stuff is, good for you. Mm-hmm. I won't do it.
Yeah, I know.
There's no mask around here. Where I go into the store, there used to be a sign out there saying wear a mask, and to comply I would, because I did walk into a Ralph's one time when it first started, and I forgot my mask. And somebody says, "Ma'am, you have to have a mask." Oh, I felt so bad. I said, "Let me run out and get it." And then it became such a pain in the ass, because you get out of your car and you don't think about wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. And you go into the store, oh God, I go back and get a fucking mask. Okay, so this is like, or when it first started, I went to the store and they had people lined up outside the store on the parking lot. I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? I can't believe this." And I walked away yelling, "Welcome to communism, people. Hello."
Or fascism.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever it is.
It certainly isn't democracy.
Get used to it.
Yeah, it's not democracy, because we didn't vote for those muzzles, right? Now on to monster movies. Frank was a big fan of monster movies. What is your favorite monster movie and why?
Well, let's see. I think we gotta compartmentalize, because there's, monsters come in all forms. There's like I don't like gory massacre movies, like Detective Chainsaw Massacre, anything, or Saw, or those kind of movies that where you have to amputate parts of your body. I like movies like The Conjuring, Part 1 and 2. Sinister, that was a very disturbing movie.
The Omen, maybe?
The Omen, yes, The Omen's good. Oh, God, what was it? James Wan he's amazing. He can make the scariest movies. I mean, the kind where you can feel the hair on your neck standing up.
Oh, my goodness.
And so anything he makes is okay with me. I'm trying to think of the name of the damn movie. Yeah, anything in that genre that's more supernatural than blood and gore.
Do you like any of the old 50s sci-fi movies? Because I think Frank was a really big fan of those, so, like, particularly.
Yeah, I know he liked Eraserhead. That was one of his favorites. What was it, the woman that she was huge. I can't think of the name of that.
50-foot woman?
Yeah, something like that. And then the behemoth, the rocks, the slow-moving rocks. If this rock doesn't go faster than 1 millimeter a second, we're all going to die.
Right.
That's right.
Bullets can't stop it. Rockets can't stop it. We may have to use nuclear force.
Yeah, he liked the funky, the worse, the badly made movie, the better he liked it.
Cheapness, folks. Cheapness.
Yeah, right. And he thought the name Larry Martin was very funny. Larry Martin. I don't know why, but he thought it was funny. He's laughing now, I can hear him.
Okay. In the movie Queen of Outer Space, they used the phrase bacino. I think it was Les Paul's wife, Mary Ford, who was the actress that said it. According to Frank, what is the real meaning of bacino?
Gosh, I have no idea.
Oh, no?
I'm sorry. Oh. I don't know.
Well, I did a little research, and I don't know if this is Frank's, where he got it from, but being Italian, the Italian way to say kiss me is besame. It's spelled the same as bacino, so it might be a little bit of a perverted take on the kiss me, because the women who said it, they're saying the opposite. They want you to get away, you're a man, get away from me is bacino, instead of kiss me. It's possible, right?
Yeah. Hey.
All right. Also appearing in the movie was Zsa Zsa Gabor. Who is your favorite Gabor sister, Zsa Zsa or Eva? The one from Green Acres.
I liked Eva. I thought she was cuter. She wasn't as hard looking as Zsa Zsa.
Yeah, she was a lot sweeter too of a person.
Well, yeah. She wasn't out there slapping cops.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know. And it's kind of a travesty, because if I mention Green Acres to somebody out there in the public, they go, oh, yeah, Zsa Zsa was really cool in that.
Yeah,
Josie, what do you know, man? Jeez. Okay, here's some space questions. What about space junk? Do you think there's a danger about satellites that decay in their orbit and fall back to Earth and maybe land on somebody?
Hey, anything's possible. Gravity sucks. I can tell you that from personal experience. Oh, you don't want to know about that.
Oh, well.
I'm talking about parts of my anatomy that are affected by gravity.
Oh, okay. There's actually people who would like to hear that, too. Talking about black holes. If light cannot escape from the singularity in a black hole, doesn't that mean that light speed stops, therefore causing time to stop?
Where do you get these fucking questions from, man? You sit there and think this up at night?
Yeah, and it keeps me up, too. It keeps me awake.
Yeah, but what? Okay, well, what makes you think I would know the answer to that?
It's just a general human question. If so, what happens when time stops?
Well, I'd say that the universe would end. Since, that's kind of like how we run. I mean, supposing, everything stopped right now. If the world stopped spinning, we'd all fall off.
And I'm sure that would disrupt a lot of the orbital relationships among the planets and cause a lot of other chaos.
It would fuck up everybody's day.
Right. What is your personal view about the origin of the universe?
Well, I don't want to upset anybody and not believe in Adam and Eve. But I think the Big Bang Theory is where it all came from. If God existed before time did, then he must have had a hand in putting it all together. I don't think it just started. Somebody had to push the button.
Do you think everything in the universe is made of one element, which is the big note, meaning that it's all some kind of harmonic vibration?
Well, like we're all connected. Yeah, I think so. I think if you hit one note, we'd all hear it. We're all connected. Whatever it is, with a silver thread or a note, or whatever, we're all connected.
Yes, I think so too. Is it possible return sample missions could bring back germs from space, like in the Blob movie with Steve McQueen?
Oh, I'm sure scientists would probably like that, or like an alien,
That's another good example.
You know that scene where the thing comes out of John Hurt's stomach?
Classic.
Okay. They didn't, from what I understood was the cast was not notified of this, and when it happened, you heard somebody go, ugh, and that was like a real reaction, like they were like getting ready to, blow cookies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, the stuff that happens on a Hollywood studio.
Anything to get a good reaction out of you.
What's your favorite Star Trek original series episode and why?
Oh gosh, I was never a Trekkie. I did enjoy Leonard Nimoy though. I thought he was very handsome and his ears were such a turn on.
Did you get to meet Leonard Nimoy and discuss any cosmic subjects?
No, unfortunately. I didn't. I've only met a few celebrities. Some of them, like I met Barry Manilow one time.
It must have been interesting.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was very boring.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, sarcastic.
Yeah. Picking up that sarcasm there. Yeah. Okay.
Do you think warp drive will be developed for interstellar travel anytime soon?
It isn't already?
Well, they keep teasing about it, but... Do you think transporters are possible?
Well, it might be, and they just don't want to let us know. I mean, can you imagine getting from your house to Walmart in 2 seconds? Come on.
Without a fly in there?
That would be great. Yeah, you just put on your little helmet and your backpack and out the door.
Hopefully not with anything in there while you're transporting. Otherwise, you'll come back half as whatever was in there with you, like the fly, right?
That's the fly, yeah. There you go. Help me. Anything is possible. Anything. I mean, anything can be invented. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
They've come up with an electric car. They've come up with driverless cars.
Yeah. I know.
They're
just as stupid as the ones that have a driver, right?
Yes.
The machine is only as smart as its programmer, man. Don't they get that?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got it.
What about life on other planets such as extremophiles like tardigrades?
Well, I always remember Frank saying it's very pompous of mankind to think they are the only intelligent life forms in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that is a definite possibility. I believe that there are other life forms on other planets. And they do watch us.
The only problem with that is you have a time dilation problem. So even if they were watching us, depending on how far away they were, they'd have to be pretty nearby in order to see us in real time, because otherwise they'd be looking at the Earth the way it was, 60 million years ago or however far away they are. So They wouldn't see us.
Well, now you're going back to time travel.
Yeah,
So
time travel. Yep, and space
Harriet,
travel.
I'm going to go to Earth, and I'll be back in about 60 million years, so don't hold dinner for me, okay? I'm going down to take a look. So, yeah, there was one time Nolan and I, we were living in Echo Park, and it was kind of an overcast night. And you know how sometimes when they have the searchlights that, show you, come over here and buy our stuff?
Yeah.
And it'll, like, reflect in the... Well, there was right above us, there was a light, many lights, as a matter of fact, in a formed pattern, just kind of hovering over us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going, and we kept looking around to see if there was a searchlight. No. It was some of our friends from far away that came down to take a look. Yeah, I do believe that.
There's the Phoenix Lights out here in Arizona, so that's the big famous one. And there are a lot of people that saw that, and they're just they're trying to tell you it's weather balloons, and I'm like, yeah, sure, weather balloons. it's like right out of MIB, man, where they try to tell you it's swamp gas and stare at the little light, the neuralizer, and phew.
Yeah.
What about parallel universes? Do you think they exist, and is there any evidence?
I think I would agree with that. It's there was a good Twilight Zone made with Martin Milner and Vera Miles, where the girl was seeing herself sitting in the waiting room of the bus station when she looked in the mirror in the bathroom. And she was talking about parallel universe. Yeah, I do think that's going on.
Yeah, I remember that episode. That was one of the more creepier ones too, because
yes, it was. Kind of makes you go, okay.
I think it was called Mirror Image, actually.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the episode, they had the guy who thought she was crazy, and then he ended up chasing himself down the alleyway.
Yep. Yeah.
Here's a rhetorical question. If you had your very own time machine like Rod Taylor, where and when would you go, and what would you do?
Well, if I could take 2 trips, I'd go back to my childhood so I could see everybody. I'm the last person alive from the original Zappa family. So
I know.
It'd be nice to see everybody, and kind of experience that fun time I had, And the other place I'd go is back to when I first met Nolan, and if I knew what I knew then that I know now, I would have had him checked out for liver problems. He might still be with us, but from what I hear is it was his time, and his body just wasn't, gonna stay around. So now I'm here, and I wrote a book about him, and I'm going to re-record his song that he made famous, that he wrote, called If I Could Only Be Sure.
Cool. That's good news. I appreciate that. All right. Moving on to politics. Yay! In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. Roger Waters from Pink Floyd did the Big Wall concert, and Gorbachev was at the helm of the crumbling Soviet Union. Do you think things have changed much?
God. Here's a person that you're talking to who doesn't watch or give a fuck about the news.
Well, neither do I, dear.
I do know that when the first time I went to Germany for the Zappanale, I was treated to a diatribe, a monologue from this very interesting man, German man. And like everybody around there was wearing jeans and had mohawks and piercings and tattoos, where some years before then, they weren't allowed to do that. And if you had Frank's music, you would be put in jail.
Oh my gosh. Just for having it, like, on you?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's crazy. Not even playing it, just... Wow.
That's what I understood. If I understood his explanation, but after everything straightened out, he it opened up. I mean, they were so happy. They loved Frank because he gave the middle finger to anybody that says you can't do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So and he was all for freedom of speech. If you don't like what you're hearing, go away. Turn it off. Keep scrolling. You don't have to like it or dislike it. But somebody says, well, like I said before, everybody's entitled to their opinion, just as long as it doesn't hurt anybody.
Exactly. Yep. I don't know if you know much about Roger Waters and the Pink Floyd, but he has been getting some heat about being anti-Semitic. Do you think that he is anti-Semitic, or is the mainstream media attempting to smear his reputation?
I don't know for a fact, but, anything's possible there, too. I don't care for anti-Semitic talk because I'm being Jewish myself. I don't care for it. But like I say, I mean, if that's how you feel, keep it to yourself. You don't have to hurt people with it.
Right. Well, in Roger's case, he's just trying to represent the Palestinians, the people, not the leaders. And he's talking about how the leaders are gangsters and they're bullying their own people into, going according to what they believe in. And he's being seen as anti-Semitic, but it's not true. He is not anti-Semitic, I think, because he's just trying to represent the other side. That is, the Israelis, the government, is actually turning more into, a fascist state. So he was just trying to draw attention to that. If Frank had become president in 1992, would he have defeated Bill Clinton and Bush? And if he did, how would his policies have differed from President Clinton?
Oh, yeah, I think he would have. It would have been fun to have him as president. That would be great. I used to have to make an appointment to see him anyway, so that would just fit right in with it, what would his policies would be quite the opposite of whatever Bush would be, for whatever his platform was. I'm sure it'd be just the opposite, and because he was a liberal and libertarian, I think it was.
Yeah, I think he said he's not a Democrat or a Republican, so.
Right, he was a libertarian, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's all that's left after that.
Yeah, Nolan and I registered as American Independent, so that's where I am. Okay. So yeah, it would have been an interesting presidency. If he hadn't gotten sick, he might have lasted for 4 years.
Right. It seems that Frank was always trying to retrofit the negativity of society and turn it into something positive. What would Frank think about the conditions in America if he were here today?
So that's a question I don't know what Frank would do. I know he would have a lot to say about it, actually, I'm sure. Yeah, he'd be going off. There'd be lots of opinions, yeah.
Lots of jokes, because he would like to poke fun at the wrongs of society, and I don't think he would know where to start, man. Between the caramba and the stuff that's going on with the recent American president.
Trust me. Yeah. Trust me. He'd know where to start, and he'd know where to end, too.
The Zappa European tour after Frank played with John Lennon and Yoko Ono at the Fillmore in 1971 was fraught with disasters, such as the Montreux building burning down and then the Rainbow Theater when Frank was knocked off stage by some crazy person. Is it possible that the unseen bad people in power didn't like Frank playing with John Lennon?
I don't think it had anything to do with that. I know that there are people that didn't like Frank, and, that's their problem.
Here's the thing. In the tour, he was playing a Beatles song. He was playing I Want to Hold Your Hand. And so it's possible that somebody was offended, especially because he was playing in England at the time.
Well, what Frank had said about that was that, I forget the guy's name, Nigel or something like that, some name, whatever. Anyway, according to what he heard, I think, the guy was jealous of Frank because he said Frank was making eyes at his girlfriend. Now, when you're on stage, you have Klieg lights or 500 waters or something shit, and they're just like beaming down on you. So when you look out in the audience, you see black. Mm-hmm. You don't see faces.
Mm-hmm.
So how could Frank be making eyes at somebody? Okay. The other story he told was he thought that the money he paid to hear the music, he wasn't getting his money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, you pick a story, and he just, went nuts. And they got him. I think he served a year in jail or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it rearranged Frank's vocal abilities. He went to a baritone because his head was pushed over his neck and crushed his larynx.
Oh, I know. Yikes. That's terrible.
Yeah.
On the Broadway The Hard Way album, there was a featured song by Mr. Sting called Murder by Numbers. Do you think that
Mm-hmm.
certain celebrities have been targeted to be murdered, such as John Lennon, Carl Sagan, and perhaps Frank?
That's a good question. I don't know, and I wouldn't even venture a guess. That's kind of macabre. I'm going to sit here and talk about how I'm going to kill your ass,
Uh-huh.
and put it in a song so it's much more attractive.
Oh, God. Right. Well, like it says in Sting's song, there really isn't any need for bloodshed. You just do it with a little more finesse. If you can slip a tablet into someone's coffee, then it avoids an awful lot of mess.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just weird because, Frank went over to Washington, D.C., and I'm sure that at some point they served him some coffee, and we don't know if something was, put in there or so. It's things to contemplate. What do you think about Putin, his relationship with ex-President Dump, the sudden fashion muzzles, ex-muzzles, and now the new designer war in the Ukraine?
I think it's an unfortunate state of affairs. It's not something you want to have happen on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to think of Putin. I don't know what to think of anything, because why did it happen? I mean, what possessed him to, all of a sudden say, hey, I'm going to destroy your country, so, get ready. And bang, there it was.
Oh. It just seems that it's something we're supposed to focus on, bye-bye Caramba and hello war, hello high gas prices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just reeks of filthy manipulation. Okay, let us lighten things up a bit. A couple of food questions. What is your favorite dish when you dine out, or do you prefer a home-cooked meal?
I like cooking at home, and because I know what I want. But you go out, it's like a crapshoot when you go out, because you never know, who's back there picking their nose and wiping their hands on the apron. But it depends on where you go. If you go to there's a restaurant out here called Lure. It's an incredible fish restaurant, seafood.
Mm-hmm. I think I've heard of that.
I tried halibut for the very first time, I think.
No,
swordfish. No, it was swordfish. Oh my God. It was such a thick fish. It was very meaty, and I couldn't finish it because it was just too much. But they have excellent food in there. If you get a good place that's clean and has good food in it. I don't normally order stuff that I would cook at home. I don't order fried chicken. I don't order spaghetti, because I make my spaghetti is better than theirs.
I bet.
I won't eat oysters unless they're cooked. just not into swallowing raw oysters.
Thing, yeah, I know. A lot of people aren't. Yeah. Some people are, but
hey. Anyway, but fish. I like fish. I like a good steak. So for all you vegans out there that hate that, I'm sorry.
Well, fish, that's pretty close to vegan. Do you make your own recipes?
Yeah, I kind of season the way I like things. And I like my meat medium rare. I don't like it cooked all the way. That just takes the beauty of the meat away. You got to have some pink in there.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter likes where you pass a match on each side of it and it goes moo when you put it in a pan, But just good food, good, and lots of vegetables. My mom got us all taught, to eat vegetables. She would serve like 3 or 4 kinds at every meal, dinner meal, and with the main course. But she was a very good cook. Yeah, you just love. I don't care for okra though.
Oh, yeah, I don't like okra either. I don't like okra, asparagus. I tried to love asparagus, but this consistency is just, I don't know, gelatinously inside, and it just doesn't sit well with me. Basically.
Oh, the okra, yeah, but asparagus is great. I will eat pounds of that stuff. But then your pee smells so bad.
Right. And then when you get to cheese land, some of that stuff smells like feet.
I asked my mom that one time. I said, Mom, how come cheese smells like feet? Did they slice people's feet, and then put it in and she hit me over the head with a fork or something. I forget.
Oh my gosh. Do you do any gardening? If so, what kind of stuff do you like to grow? No, okay. No gardening.
Well, not a digger.
Yeah. Okay. The closest I ever came to gardening was I once grew some green onions. Just took the bulb part and just stuck it into some soil. And what happened was when they grew, they started to strangle each other.
Ooh.
It was crazy. I was like, okay, so this is how green onions grow, I think. But, they're competing by strangling each other.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they're both the same kind, so who wins?
Exactly. Well, the stronger versus the weak, only the strong survive, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask you about Nolan Porter.
Okay.
When did you meet Nolan Porter, and how did he become the love of your life?
I met Nolan in 1999 through a mutual friend, Mary Linville. I was at a place called Leon's Steakhouse, which is now a CVS. I love it. In North Hollywood. And I was asked to judge a karaoke contest. It's like, okay, you want me to judge a karaoke? Okay, fine. So this woman comes up to me, beautiful face, smile. We just clicked, and just instantaneous. And she started telling me about Nolan. You have to meet this guy. He's got a great voice, and da-da-da-da-da. I said, cool. And so she would go back and tell Nolan about me. And that I sang and blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
Okay, so things didn't happen fast enough. So one night she calls me up. She says, why don't you meet me at Leon's? And she didn't tell me that Nolan was going to be there, and she didn't tell Nolan I was going to be there. Well, this was the day after his 50th birthday. So I walked in, you're going to sit with your girlfriend, and you're going to have girl talk,
Right.
Well, I see him sitting at the table, and I'm going, what's he doing here? And he looks over at me with this smile that says, okay, we're already set. You're mine. So I sat down at the table. We started talking, and we were going to get up and do a song together. So the very first song we ever sang together was Too Much, Too Little, Too Late by Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams.
Oh.
And we're like looking at each other going, wow, this sounds pretty good, because I was harmonizing, doing the harmony with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that same show I told you about with Stollers and Lieber, Denise Williams was at this show. And we went up to her and introduced ourselves and told her we really loved her voice and everything. And then I mentioned that the very first song that Nolan and I sang together was that song that she did with Johnny Mathis. And, oh, really? So that was kind of our first thing. And then, we would get together eventually. And that was in May. So at the end of May, it was like, I guess, what's the Memorial Day?
Mm-hmm.
In May? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
So we went up came up here to Ventura, because we lived in the Valley, or as I call it, Hellville.
Mm-hmm.
We came up to Ventura, and he met both my daughters, and they liked him. And then we came home, and he was sitting on the edge of the bed, because I was laying down because my back was killing me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he told me he didn't want to get into a relationship. I'm thinking, what are you talking about?
Okay.
I said, he says, well, we can do music together. I said, okay, you want to do music together. Okay, well, I have a feeling you're not going to like me a lot because I'm a whole different person when I'm just doing music.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he left, and then January, we eventually, got back into the boyfriend-girlfriend kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the year, which was New Year's Eve, I had some physical issues going on, and I needed, according to my doctor, a hysterectomy.
Oh, gosh.
So he took me to the hospital. We made arrangements, and while I was in the room getting ready for the operation, they gave me the happy shot.
Mm-hmm.
And you start feeling really good, and things are going nice. And I just looked over at him and I said, you know what? I'd really like to be married to you. And his eyes, you look like the horse caught in the headlights,
Yeah, I can imagine.
And he says, well, I don't think I'd make a very good husband, but I make a better boyfriend. I said, you suck as a boyfriend. You'd make a better husband.
Oh my gosh.
So it took me 7 years to bag him, and
wow.
We finally got married in 2007, and then he passed away in 2021.
Yeah. What were your feelings the moment you first heard Nolan's albums, No Apologies and Nolan, his music?
Yeah, I liked his music. I liked what he did. He was just very different from anything you would have heard at that time. And like I say, I'm getting ready to re-record If I Could Only Be Sure.
Yeah.
I'm doing it my way.
Fantastic.
My way.
Yeah. All right. On your album, To Be Perfectly Frank, who wrote the original songs?
Oh, there's 2 songs on there that I did write. One was Amazed, and the other one was Could He Be the Loving Kind? So those are both on there, and I wrote, those are the only 2 I wrote. The rest of them were Nolan's contributions. I'm not sure if there was anything from Frank on there. I can't remember.
Yeah, you did some stuff from Frank on there as well. I think it was the live recordings that were on.
Oh, was that Directly From My Heart to You?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Who were the musicians, and did you get a chance to play any of the instruments?
No, I don't play anything anymore. I just sang.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nolan, when Nolan would do stuff, like he used to perform on cruise ships, and be the music, and he would play keyboards or piano or whatever. Yeah. So he was the musical part, and he sang, and his voice was great. And we were always amazed at how well our voices blended.
Yeah, well, you sound terrific. Sometimes I can't even tell who's singing if you listen to that album. And you have a really great voice. I mean, you can just really belt it out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And those songs you mentioned, I found them to be the best songs on the album. And I'm not buttering you up. That's how it hit me when I heard the album.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. When you listen to music these days, what are some of your musical preferences?
I like jazz. I like Jackie Gleason's, his orchestra stuff. The old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too much into the new stuff. I should be, but it just doesn't do anything for me.
That's a good thing.
I kind of hang with the old school stuff.
That's a good thing. Ultimately, even if you listen to some of the new stuff, you would end up listening to the old stuff because all they're doing is regurgitating and in some cases just totally ripping off things that were already there. So you're not missing much. Are there any new projects in the works for the future? You mentioned that book you're working on about Nolan.
It's already out. It's called If I Can Only Be Sure,
Okay.
The Life of Nolan Porter, and it's available on my and my publisher's website, crossfirepublications.com.
Okay, cool.
Along with My Brother Was a Mother, Take 4, the latest version of it. That just came out in December of last year. And in fact, both of them came out about the same time, end of last year.
All right. Glad to hear that you're keeping busy and still coming out with stuff. And you also said you're working on that song that isn't out yet, right?
Right, not yet. Oh. I will be. I'll send you a copy.
Oh, hey, that would be really very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Well, Patrice, this has been one heck of an interview. Really, it's been a treat and adventure, and I appreciate you giving your candid views on this myriad of subjects. You're a very interesting personality. You have had so many great stories to share, and I wish we could just talk for an eternity, but unfortunately, got to get doing some other stuff eventually, right?
Yeah, got to cut my toenails and file them down.
Hey, that's important stuff, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially for a diabetic. You got to keep your feet in shape.
Oh, yeah. I would say that for diabetics and non-diabetics. That was one of the good things about the Carumba, was it made everybody a little more hygienic, the ones that needed it,
Yeah. I remember when it first started, Nolan would don his gloves and mask and go out, brave the Carumba, and go to the stores and buy, he'd come back with boxes and bags of food.
Toilet paper. Toilet paper, remember?
No toilet paper. No, there was none around.
Right. Does anyone remember the toilet paper? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I go, Nolan, where am I going to put this food? I had no room. It was a small one-bedroom apartment. Uh-huh. And all my shelves and refrigerators were full, So I had to keep, the dry goods in the box under the table. So I just remember him. He was so cute, and he was just a good provider and a good man.
I know. Well, you sound like a very strong woman, and I think that you can get through anything, if you just put your mind to it. Keep busy. That's one of the big tricks about it. Is keep busy and keep doing stuff and do what you want to do,
Mhm.
We should promote what Frank said. It's, like I said, mainstreamly. Oh, man, I walked into, I don't remember where it was, a Best Buy or something, and I looked around in the music section, and I couldn't find Frank Zappa at all in there. Like, they completely got rid of the whole section, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, they're subduing Frank Zappa, and it's, like, really freaking obvious. Anybody who can promote what he said, his music, all that stuff is important. It's like almost like a civic duty.
I know.
So I really appreciate you doing that.
It's been fun. I've had a good time. I have done many interviews. It all started, like 20 years ago. And when Nolan went to England, Wales, for him to perform with a bunch of other acts, and I told him, I said, start practicing your autograph, because you will be signing things in mass quantity. And he didn't believe me. So we're sitting at the diner on the compound there, eating all bangers and mash, and people just queued up so politely. Hello, Mr. Porter, would you sign my program, please? Yes, he did. And he kept signing, and I kept eating. And he didn't get to eat, but I smiled at him graciously while he was signing everything. I'm surprised people didn't come up and say, would you sign my bum, please? But they didn't.
Oh, my gosh. I know, it gets crazy when they want you to sign other things besides pieces of paper and photos.
I had at one time in the Zappanale, I was coming out of the tent because I had a wee, okay?
Yeah.
It's a bodily function, every once in a while you got to do it, right?
Gotta take a pee, yep.
The guy jumps in front of me, demanding an autograph. I said, can I get it when I come back? I have to go to the bathroom. And he doesn't speak that well English, okay? He's German. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't let me go by without signing this, whatever he had, I almost wet myself.
Oh my gosh. Because right? Oh man, you don't speak the language, right? That's crazy.
Well, thank you, my darling. I really enjoyed talking to you.
I'm going to let you go now, and I hope you have a zapperific evening.
You too, my dear.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
All right.
You too.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
When you entered my life, I was so naive. Your presence was hard for me to perceive. Somehow you had visions of what was to be, and I wanted to know.
The thought of your love couldn't wait. Relationships are so hard to create. It was clear my heart would not know such a fate in a short time with you. Weeks went by, now we're feeling something greater than we felt before. Both revealing what we're looking for. Our love has come alive. Our love has come alive. Deep within, deep within. Our love is growing each and every day. Survive with our love. Through the years, we're still feeling something greater than we felt before. Our flame's still burning, now it's something more. Our love has come alive. Our love has come alive. Come alive. Our love has come alive. Deep within, deep within. Our love is growing each and every day.
wanna get myself into this shit. Played like a fool for free. Where you going now? You're screwing round on me. The web tells me all you see. And when you pull up to Alibi Drive, I know you're gonna lie to me. And when you go down Alibi Drive, I already know your story. Hey Alibi, where you been?
What do you mean, where I been?
Just what I said. Who's the new girl?
None ya.
None ya.
None your business.
I have a way to get you back. This time it's all for me. Now I wanna be satisfied. This is how it's gonna be. And when you pull up to Alibi Drive, I know you're gonna lie to me. And when you go down Alibi Drive, I already know your story. You were the king of Alibi Drive. Your queen bitch will make you bleed. Your shit's no good on Alibi Drive. Queen is getting all that she needs now. Yeah! And when you pull up to Alibi Drive, I know you're gonna lie to me. When you go down Alibi Drive, I already know your story.
Tell me a story, Daddy.
And when you pull up to Alibi Drive, I know you're gonna lie to me. And when you go down Alibi Drive, I already know your story. Yeah, I know your story. Alibi Ike.
Ooh, I can't escape his magic. Yet there's something sort of tragic about him. But when he looks at me, I start to melt. And when he looks into my eyes, it's then I realize I've got the deepest feelings I've ever felt. And I'd like to ask him if it's not too much trouble. Could he be the loving kind? Now I don't wanna get mushy, and I don't wanna sound gushy, but this guy has gotten under my skin. And I'd like to tell him, but I really don't have to sell him. I just like this thing called us to begin. And my question still goes, it's been on my mind. Could he be the loving kind? Oh, I wish I were a poet. Then I could put my words down in rhyme. Whoa, then if I could, then I to spend my time. Now I'd like to get to know him, then I could really show him. With him I'd like to stay around. Then I could tell everyone about this treasure that I found. And my question still goes, it's been on my mind. Could he be the loving God? And my question still goes, it's been on my mind.